I'm your host, Tanja Repo, working as the marketing coordinator here at Vaadin, and here co-hosting me is Sami Kaksonen.
Hi, and I'm the VP of Sales in Vaadin.
And we're glad to have you at our YouTube live streaming right now. And today we're going to talk about real-life TouchKit cases, and we're going to talk about who is using actually Vaadin. And I can show you shortly from Vaadin.com. There's a web page dedicated to these showcases. So Vaadin.com and who is using Vaadin. You can find most of the cases here. And today we're going to discuss about Puma Range Toolbox. And during this live webinar, you can ask us questions and follow us through Twitter as well. So if you have any questions concerning the Puma, just use Vaadin hashtag.
Yep.
In addition to that, we're also following the Vaadin forum. So there's a thread that you can find the TouchKit Showcase webinar. You can place your questions there as well, and also commenting on YouTube. Sami will follow that and will answer your questions later on.
That's correct. I'll do my best to pick some interesting questions from the live feed as well during this webinar.
So we are here at our new studio. So as you can see, we're sitting in the live studio right now. How do you feel about our very warm studio?
Yeah, it's great. At least the temperature is much higher, but I think the surrounding is the same as in the old webinar room as well. But it doesn't matter.
Let's not tell them that. For further ado, I would like to also invite us and introduce our guest host today. He's Dominik Hasselmeier from Puma.
Hello everybody, greetings from the sunny but cold Herzogenaurach.
We're glad to have you on board and also presenting the actual real case today.
Thank you as well.
And before we start with the case, we can go shortly through what the Vaadin TouchKit actually is. Sami.
Yeah, just to give you, I hope most of you already know that, but for the newcomers who doesn't know that, it's the add-on for a Vaadin framework, which is intended for building the mobile web applications, and it's targeted for providing the cross-platform applications, and currently it supports iPads and iPhones and Android devices. And you can check the more details about Vaadin TouchKit from the product home site, and that's vaadin.com/touchkit. And what we are actually doing right now with TouchKit is that we are adding a new platform. So we are going to support Windows phones as well, starting from version number 8. So that's under making at the moment, and there actually is a version in Vaadin directory which you can download already to try that out. And another major thing that we are doing with TouchKit is we are going to introduce a new theme, which is not that heavily resembling the iOS theme from the past. So that's a new thing as well. So in short, in this TouchKit 4.0 is all about providing more cross-platform and kind of increasing the UX for building for several different platforms using the same code base.
Yeah. Can you share a secret? When is the release coming up?
The beta is scheduled to be released in December. And as said,
Okay.
go out and try Alpha now. Today, it's there.
It's there. Well, without further ado, we could move into the actual case what we're going to discuss about today, and back to Dominik. What was the city that you're from? Where are we talking to right now?
Herzogenaurach in the sunny Franconia in Germany. Not Bavaria, Franconia, that's important.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we can...
Yeah, that would be the southern part, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay, good.
Oh, that's good. So, Dominik, the stage is yours.
Okay, just two sentences about me. I'm Dominik Hasselmeier. I'm working for Puma since 2005. I'm a software developer there, and I will show you now a little bit about our range toolbox. So I will switch over to a presentation at first, and then afterwards I will show you the application itself. So let's start with the presentation. The first question which you ask yourself is, what is your application being used for, of course? And in case of the range toolbox, it is used for the creation of regional ranges. To explain this a little bit more, we have meetings where regional merchandisers come together and do pre-selections of articles which they want to have in their upcoming ranges. The work there at the meetings is done on iPads, and the merchandisers actually walk through rooms where at back walls the product samples are assembled, and then they look on their iPads in parallel and can say, hey, I like this product or I don't like this product, for example. And then let's move on to who is using the application. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the comments.
Yeah.
They can, of course, do comments about complete article lists if they like them or not, or the same for single products.
Oh, okay. So we can take a look at all those, the commenting field as well later on in the demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Okay. And of course, the regions can, while they are doing their range selection, they can compare the range they have currently selected to the selection of the other regions, which are also there. And with this, the commonality can be improved between the regions.
Yeah, so different regions can order the same quality and
Exactly.
the same merchants, the same stuff that the other regions are doing
Yeah.
at the same time. Yeah, this is a good comparison.
Oh. Sorry, just a second. Now on to the next slide. Who uses the application? At first, we have global merchandising. They do mostly administrational tasks, and additionally, they support the regional merchandising. They coordinate the whole thing, they set up the meetings, put together the timeline, and that's their main job there. Then we have regional merchandising, of course, which I already talked about. They do the actual range selection on the iPads and do the comments on the iPads. And last but not least, we have the product line management. They will do the product line review at the end of the meeting. This means when the regional merchandisers are finished with their selection, at the end of the day, the whole group will sit together and then they will walk through the product lists and review each individual product and maybe cancel a product and so on.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the next question is, how was it done before moving to mobile, the whole thing? We had old web app in place, which didn't really look that decent and wasn't optimized for mobile devices.
And why was this? Why didn't it look decent?
Yeah, because we developers don't have the creativity, let's call it, to create really nice looking applications which the designers actually like. And they are really creative people and they are looking at these applications and they don't really like it.
Okay, so it has to be a good looking UI also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was not mobile optimized and the buttons were really small on the iPad and so on. The usability was bad.
Okay, so you improved from this a lot. Okay.
Yeah, and even before that, we had even worse process in place. Each region got assigned a sticker. For example, the EEA region got the red sticker and the North American region got a green sticker. And then they had to walk through the walls like it is now, through the rooms like it is now.
Yeah, the display room, you have everything displayed. Yep.
Exactly, and then there were big printouts of the products, and then they had to put the stickers on the products they liked.
Oh wow, do you have this kind of paper still to show? Can you?
Yeah, I can. I will show it right now. This here, if you can see it, the stickers.
Wow. Yes, we can.
Great.
So there's.
This was EA.
So then in the meeting you needed to after the meeting you needed to calculate those and move that type in to some other system. So that sounds there's a lot of different work phases in
Oh,
in
those
that kind
poor assistants.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That was really bad because it was a lot of manual work and it was prone for errors, of course.
Yeah, and it's a human mistake also. It can like take it a little bit notation. So huge improvement in that sense, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially if you're colorblind. It wouldn't be this
Yeah, red, green, red, green.
Well,
so let's move on to the next slide.
Yes,
yeah.
please.
Okay.
Okay. And then the question is, what did it enable your user to do when you moved it to mobile or tablet? And it's quite obvious, I have to say. There's no need to use any strange stickers anymore. And that's already a big improvement. And then it spared the workload for the people who needed to do the sum up afterwards. It's quite obvious as well.
We're nodding here
And
in the studio. We're nodding.
And
Good, good.
and what's also really important is that it is more fun, if work is ever fun, for the users to work with the iPads and by providing this more visual appealing application.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because like sports industry, it's really agile and also on top of their game there as well.
Right.
So it has to be very easy to use and cool looking.
Yeah, exactly. And then for the regions, the improvement was as well that they can compare their current selection with other regions, for example, and they can also have an overview how many articles they have selected right now, and how many shoes, for example, how many shirts, how many bags, and so on.
Yeah.
And this is also quite nice to have this ongoing during this meeting.
Yeah. True.
And then, of course, in the end, you have a much better data quality because there are no more errors, human errors, manual errors in the end. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think this would be a good point to jump into the actual application.
Yeah, let's take a look at it right now since it sounds...
Yep. I will switch over to it. Just give me a second.
Yes, we will. We'll give you elevator music
Meanwhile,
at this
you can
one.
see my nice face.
Well, I think this is a very classical kind of use case for going for a mobile application because it involves a lot of different user groups and you can make things much more efficient by having all this electronically handled and in real time rather than using the paper copies.
Yeah, that's true, because the process can be like really slow. And
Yeah.
in business intelligence solutions, it helps a lot when you get this sort of a
Just
system in
one more
mobile.
second.
And since we have some time here, I can remind you that place some questions for us. Good questions, tricky questions, questions about the Puma case. We're interested as well, since Dominic is here, the expert answer to this case especially. So Sami here is taking a look at...
I'm polling the feeds already, but not that much yet.
Not that much yet commenting, but Twitter, YouTube, and also Vaadin forum. In case you haven't visited yet, do it now.
Okay.
And now we're ready with Dominic.
We are ready. Yep. Can you see my screen right now?
Just a second, I will put you into full screen with my technical skills, and yes, we can see your screen right now.
Wrong address, just a moment.
That was the live version.
Oh, that was live version. Oopsie daisy,
Sorry.
there's the demo effect. Okay.
We don't mind.
We don't mind though. Okay.
So I will now play the role of the EEA regional merchandiser. And here you can see the nice login screen already. It was already an improvement to the last old application, which looked quite bad there already.
And here's the new, this is the current login.
Yeah, and now we are logged into our application. It might be a little bit confusing at the beginning, but
I'm sure you will help with that.
Yeah, just walk us through it. We will
basically
manage.
we have here several views down here, and this is the first view, the product division and season view.
Yes.
And here we have the lists which have been created before by the product line management. Exactly. And what we need to mention here is that before you can actually use the application, we have an application which is before in the process, where you have to create lists which can actually be loaded here in this application. And I already prepared a list here on our test system. Of course, it's the Ferrari Vaadin collection.
Ferrari Vaadin collection.
Oh, I love
I love
that
that.
sounds.
Tutto bene. Yes, let's go.
And all the lists which are created in the system are displayed here.
Yeah.
And there are several filters in place where you can filter by season or product division. And then there is a different view because the merchandisers like to work differently. There you can filter by different criterias. Basically, it's basically the same view, just with different filter criteria.
So the criteria are here in the bottom level. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have the post checkpoint view, which is also a different view where you can filter for special articles which have been modified after a certain date.
Yep.
And then last but not least, the search view where you can look up individual articles.
With number or description or
Exactly.
color description. These are very specific, for instance, with sport equipment and items.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I will now go back to the first view and load up the nice Ferrari Vaadin collection.
Let's see what we have up and coming. I'm interested as well.
Yes. Oh,
There
nice.
you can see
Ooh.
the overview here,
Yep.
the picture view with several articles.
Let me take a look.
And it looks quite nice, I would say. And,
For some reason, I actually have it on my iPad as well. Right here, so I can look it through those merchandises. So their shoes and collection of caps and Vaadin mugs, actually. They're wrong colored, but it's okay.
I would
So
vote
now
for
we-
those Ferrari shoes or Puma shoes.
Yeah, let's put one vote for Ferrari shoes for Sami. So this is good, where the merchandisers go through those exhibition walls and they will see, whoopsie daisy, they will see this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
And then they actually can take the physical sample in their hands, can
and
look
try,
at it.
yeah, try the
then-
textile and try everything.
And when they like it, they go here and press the nice Facebookish regional range button.
Is that a
Well, they
technical term, that Facebook-ish?
Not really.
It is now.
It's like
It
Google.
is now, so
Google for it. It's
Yeah.
the same basically.
yeah, but really native looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and if they press the button, they have added the article basically to their regional range.
And the RR is for regional range.
Exactly.
Yes.
And RC is for regional core.
Okay.
And GCR is for global core range. And I can explain a little bit about this ranges.
Yep.
I simplified a little bit. And basically it's a hierarchy. It starts with global. And they select a certain core range for themselves. And afterwards, below global, there is the region. And the region already has to mandatorily take the global core range, which was defined by global.
Oh, okay.
It's automatically in their regional range. And then the region can as well select a regional core. And below the region, there is the country. And the country mandatorily has to take the regional core as well. And then they can additionally add items they want additional to this range, to this core. They can add them as well later
Okay.
on.
Okay, yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, sounds
Yes,
reasonable.
that-
Yeah.
Well explained.
Okay. And we have to say the country level is not yet here in the range toolbox. Only the global level and the regional level is in here.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now let's jump into an article. Which one do you want to see in detail?
Well, we want to see the Ferrari red shoes. That article is
These ones.
Yes.
Okay.
No promotion for Ferrari though, but
Yeah, then you already saw the nice light effect. It's much better, of course, on an iPad. And yeah, here you have a bigger picture and some more article details. And below here, you have the comment area, which I already talked about, where the regions can
Comment on the
comment what they
product and
like.
make the list,
Yeah,
the comment on, so it will show here when they do the
exactly.
assortment gathering
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
And basically this here up there is the replacement of the buttons you can see on the picture in the picture view. This should be normally the Facebookish like button, but it's just adopted called here.
So that looks, yeah.
Yeah. And then you can also shuffle through the articles right here.
Oh, in this view, you still can. So you select one item, but you can scroll through all,
Yeah,
browse
yeah,
through all
exactly.
those items in that category. So
Yeah.
that's quite convenient in that sense, although you choose
Yeah.
just one. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, then I will go back now. And then we also have some nice counters on the side where you can then see your regional range, what you have currently selected. For example, I can now see on the spot that I have selected 11 motorsport articles right now and 4 Vaadin articles right now. These are 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. 4 different items for that.
Yeah. And up here are some filters where you can filter for several criteria, but I think this is, yeah, I can show it. For example, only the selected items which are currently in your range can be shown there.
Ah, okay.
But now then I would move on to the list view. That's the second view in here. And this view is mostly used for the review after the day for together with the product line management. Then that's also the nice thing. Somebody puts his laptop in front of the crowd, and then they plug the beamer to it, and then they beam the whole application to the screen somewhere.
And they look it through jointly.
Yeah,
so
and that's not that easy to do with a native iPad app. That's also the beauty of the TouchKit.
Likes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you have some basic information here. And then you have the adoption rainbow. Yeah, this here you can see how many regions have selected the article. And it's quite funny. They really liked this adoption rainbow. They are somehow really color focused, the people who work with this application. And they don't look at all at the technical details and so on, but the first thing they mentioned was this article rainbow, that they really like this.
Can you show it once again when the adoption, when you have all the 7 colors and all the different adopted organizational units, so that you can see the range?
Exactly.
I like that view because at single glimpse you can see what are really kind of the blockbusters or which are kind of very popular articles. Because you can exactly see that there's the whole line of the different colors, so it's very intuitive to me.
Exactly, yes.
Since you mentioned already that this has been one of the most liked thing, what else is also, what kind of feedback have you gotten from this?
Yeah, we have gotten only positive feedback, you could say, and they really like the iPad native app feeling when using this application.
Yeah.
They nearly don't feel a difference when they walk through it and work with it, and I think that's the main thing. And the whole design is also very well done and fits them very well for the work style, so it's really good. Okay, then I will close.
Yeah, you can close that one up.
And then we have some, as the adoption and regional core button we have here again. And then we have some info, additional info column, which shows if the article was modified or added or something like that. Then you also can look in the comments here again.
And the comment field is there, like it says nice.
Exactly. Okay.
That's the view.
And last but not least, we have the another comment section, but this is for the whole list, where the regional merchandisers can say, hey, I like this list, I hate this list.
So they can leave additional comments there as well. And
exactly.
So would these comments will be for the product line management or for the regional managers?
No, this will mainly be for be feedback for the product line management.
Right, right.
right. Okay.
To see if they have produced a good line or not, or a good product or not.
Well, that's the feedback that's also needed. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
Your shoes stink. Thanks.
Yeah. And I think that's it for the application in general.
Yeah.
Then I would switch back to my last slide of the presentation.
Yep. Go on. Yes, we're
Now
looking
you see
here.
my nice face again.
We were thinking here, just a question that popped into my mind, like why did Puma originally choose Vaadin TouchKit for this?
It was pretty funny, a pretty funny story, you could say. Let me switch back first to my head. My boss and I, we both, when we have spare time, look in the web for new technologies which might pop up. And we independently started to work on a Vaadin app. And then on a day we came together and told each other, hey, look what nice app I have built. And then we were quite surprised that we both used Vaadin. And then it was, I would call it...
Was it a blind test?
Yeah, it was the blind test.
Wow.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
We didn't know this
Awesome.
at all.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
It was really funny. And then it was mostly a lucky coincidence that the TouchKit was also there as add-on.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And you liked it,
Really-
and so...
we liked it very much.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Chose to go for it, and it worked out great.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Facebook-ish like here, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I will go now back to the slide.
Yeah, let's see what you have in mind, last but not least.
Just a second.
That is amazing how people find Vaadin.
Yeah, it's always great to hear these stories because
Yeah.
there's a lot of different.
So many users and so big community around the world, and we
Yeah.
don't not always know that where did they find us or how
Yeah.
they discovered us. And in this point, I can also tell you that as the person who's writing who is using Vaadin cases, it would be really lovely if there's some viewer right now that you have a really good TouchKit case and who is using Vaadin case. So feel free to contact me,
Yeah.
Tanya@vaadin.com, and tell me about your beautiful case. So we'll
Yeah.
put it on live.
So
now
I think
back to
now
Dominic.
exactly. And the question after you see the application is, of course, how much work did it require us to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was not that much work, as we already had a rough starting point with our old application.
Yeah,
And
ugly but rough looking.
exactly, we took some of the layout over to the new application, but redesigned it completely. You could say it like that. And it took us roughly 2 months for the complete implementation. So it's not that long of a time for a web app like that. So I think it was fine, and yeah, it was not that difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we went quite smoothly through it.
That sounds smooth.
Yeah, and looking at the benefits, I think that your payback time was really short for this investment. I would say
Yeah.
you know better, but that's my assumption.
Yeah. And we have to say, yeah, the design was done by Vaadin. And shout out to Hannu here. And it
Yeah.
was a really good collaboration with him. The communication was good. He basically understood what we wanted right away, and the end result was really good and was well taken by the users. And I think that's the best thing a designer can hear at the end.
I hope that Hannu is also watching, and in case he's not watching
Yeah.
live, we can show
Yeah.
this from YouTube later on
Yeah,
when we post it to Vaadin official YouTube channel. That shout out to Vaadin and shout out to Hannu especially for the design.
Yeah, we'll give him good feedback.
Yeah. And as last sentence, I just wanted to tell this. I think it's a general problem in IT and IT departments that the usability and the visual appeal is often disregarded. And I think that's a huge mistake, especially if you have to work or provide applications for creative people. They really like to work with good-looking applications. And if you actually provide good-looking applications, your credit you have with them is much higher from the beginning. And I think that's something that's really underestimated sometimes from many
it's
companies.
underestimated, and also it should be emphasized even more.
Yeah, exactly.
I would see this as a benefit as a starter point when you start to do your mobile app.
And I think that concludes my presentation for now. And I will then play the ball back to you.
Thank you, Dominic, so far, and I think we have some questions for you guys. I was thinking, did you bump into any troubles while using the Vaadin TouchKit during this process?
Not really.
When developing
sometimes when you add new features, the CSS working with CSS is always a little bit of a pain for me, at least. And that was sometimes a challenge. It's technical now what I say, yes, but the technicians will understand me most likely. And that was a little bit difficult, but the switch over itself was quite easy because we already worked before with Vaadin, and when you have already done an application with Vaadin and you switch over to the TouchKit, it's quite easy. And yeah,
it was an easy transition from you, like using Vaadin before and taking add-on and TouchKit into your palette. So
exactly. So not really big challenges there.
Sami, you work here a lot with our customers, of course, when being a VP of sales right at the moment, and there are some up-and-coming customers who are looking into Vaadin TouchKit, I hope. And what do you feel like? What about the business processes and processes in general? How do you feel? Is this easy to implement inside of your solutions and systems, inside of your regular processes? Yeah. How do you feel?
Well, Dominic can argue this, but I would say that Vaadin fits in, and Vaadin TouchKit fits in very well there, because we are server-side architecture, so it's really easy to hook into your backend systems and do the integrations. But actually, there is a question about that also, but we can discuss that later on when we have the Q&A
parts. Yeah.
But actually, Dominic might comment on this as well, and. Actually, I have one question: how easy it is to learn Vaadin? I mean, the learning curve. Did you find that difficult, or?
It's really easy, and that was also one of the reasons why we chose Vaadin. You can basically do everything in Java. You don't have to use any kind of CSS if you want to do the basic things. If you want to go in more detail and do additional features, you have to do CSS, but for the beginning and for a quick startup, it's just perfect. You can do everything in Java, and that's super easy.
Yeah, that's an answer what we wanted to hear. Thank you for that. So now we're going to look into Twitter and also for YouTube, so questions and commenting. And there are some questions already. Do we have this showcase specific questions online? Well,
actually, there's one question from Boris at least. So the question is, how did you do app logic in this? So it's, how were you able to reuse that, or how did you integrate?
Can you
that?
repeat it, please?
The business logic in your application, how did you handle that?
The business logic, we have basically separated it completely. We have a command service pattern, you could say, and the business logic is encapsulated there, and that's my answer basically.
Okay, good. I hope Boris is satisfied with that.
Yeah, Boris will come back to us if he wasn't satisfied with that. But I think we could move on. Dominic, still, can you hang online? We're going to put our Q&A section on right now, and for that I think we're going to need some
We need some more
accessories.
questions.
Yeah, no, we have enough questions here.
Yeah,
the
but
basic questions.
in case you have some more questions, please do write those down in the forum and the YouTube channel as well.
But we can go to the general questions about Vaadin TouchKit right now. And Sami, can you put your
apparel
on?
My answering glasses.
Answering glasses. So Q&A parts. Da, 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 da. So general questions. If a developer is very familiar with Vaadin, how much more work is it to learn TouchKit?
Well, that's kind of trivial because TouchKit is an extension to Vaadin, so it's basically the same as building with Vaadin. You just need to know some more method calls and you get new UI components that you can use in your application, but it's the same.
Really easy switch.
Yeah.
And moving on to the second question. How easy it is to start from existing Vaadin app and add-on on a mobile view? Does this mean that it's a full rewrite on the Vaadin code?
No, of course not. As probably mentioned before as well, you can reuse whatever you have available in your backend, and you can use the business logic. For example, you only need to provide kind of the new views for the mobile devices using the TouchKit. So, and how much effort it does take. It depends really on your application, how many views you have, but there's a clear synergy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that would be the answer to that. Maybe.
I have double-parted question here about...
Oh my God.
Okay, you ready? Let's go. What are the TouchKit app's deployment strategies?
Okay, so that would be then we are building by default HTML5 applications, so it would be kind of normal way. You have a web server that you deploy your latest version to, and then it's accessible through your whatever URL it is running on. Or for mobile applications, sometimes usually want to use actually package them with the PhoneGap or Cordova and kind of deploy them through the app stores in each ecosystem as well. But of course that's a much longer and longer process because you need to run through the acceptance process.
Yeah, because the second question is like, can TouchKit app be deployed using App Store or Play Store?
Yeah, so technically TouchKit is perfectly capable of doing or you can use PhoneGap with TouchKit, and PhoneGap of course gives you the possibility to use the native APIs of the mobile devices, so that will kind of extend the possibilities what you can do with the mobile application, and then of course it will package it as a native application, so that gives a little bit different user experience for the application as well.
Yeah. Will TouchKit allow us to build an adaptive web design? And there's a user case here, like our new team concern is desktop browser and iPad. 2 years from now, we want to be able to support smaller devices without building a new site totally from scratch.
Yeah, of course. It's designed for that. So whatever needs you have, our job in Vaadin is to make sure that all new supported mobile devices, whatever the sizes are, is kind of supported. And from the developer point of view, you should use the same APIs to focus on your application development, and we'll handle then the bells and whistles needed to kind of adapt to different devices and different platforms.
Yeah. And last but not least, can one have Vaadin code base deploying both on tablets and standard devices? And are there guidelines to achieve this?
Yes, again. And the guidelines, I think this has been partially answered already, but in case you are interested in this in more detail, there is vaadin.com/book, and there's examples how to do this, and there's a really good documentation how to achieve this. So that would be the long answer, and this would be the short answer.
Let me take a look if if I can write it correctly. So vaadin.com/book. In case you haven't seen it before live on our website, there's the Book of Vaadin, which is our Bible, or how would I say, the whole framework is included in this
Reference
one
manual.
masterpiece. I think it's 732 pages on the time being. Yeah.
So there is a section completely for TouchKit and how to use that, and that's very useful in case you are planning to do a TouchKit application.
Yeah. So Q&A part. Can I take the glasses off now?
Yes.
Okay, Q&As are over, so the glasses are off.
Yeah, probably I'll mention that whatever questions will appear in the feeds and Twitter as well, we will be kind of answering to those in our forums as well.
Yes. So there's the forum thread, and it's mastered by me, and my experts will take a look at the questions there, and we will answer to the thread that you will get your answer. And thank you for all the pre-registered members watching this webinar. We're going to send you more information later on after this webinar in case your colleague hasn't the opportunity to join, so you can take a look at it at the official Vaadin YouTube channel later on. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent. So, just to wrap up everything all good together, we promised you cases, but we didn't have enough time to show them all or interview all our customers. But there's another very interesting TouchKit case on the Vaadin.com who is using Vaadin. There's RUMS, which is the Remote User Monitor Station built for NASA. And we could show a short, just an introductory of it that you can take a look at it at Vaadin.com, and can we have it on the screen as well? So there is this very good looking case there, so you can find it through the showcases at who is using Vaadin.com page, and it's done for SciIC, so that's one of the TouchKit cases as well.
Yeah.
If there's somebody on the line right now who has a very good case, so feel free to contact me. You can find me through Vaadin.com, and Sami is here as well to support you. So if you're looking into the technology.
Yeah, so in short, if you have done already a TouchKit application, please contact Tanya. But if you are planning to do one and you need some UI design or something from us, please contact me in that case. So. Before and after.
Before and after. So before, after, yeah.
And after.
What? So thank you, Dominic, for sharing your information and your beautiful UI build up with Vaadin TouchKit. This was very informative, and thank you for your sparing your time here. And I hope your colleagues are online also and liking our send out here. This was sweet and short. We want to keep it in wraps. And please feel free to ask us any questions later on. We'll hang in here with the Twitter and also for the forum that we will answer your questions in any case. And
so thank you as well for having me on board. It was nice.
When are we going to get your really good looking Puma t-shirts, because we only have the Vaadin t-shirts. Or the Ferrari shoes, I would have to have those.
We can take that offline, I think.
Yeah, we can put this one offline. We will thank you. Thank you for the viewers. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for attending. And from Vaadin HQ here in Turku, Finland, it's bye-bye.
Bye.